Tears welled up in her eyes, her fingers wrapped around my wrist like a lifeline. "Please don't go," she whispered. It was only her second night in assisted living, and in that moment, I questioned everything. The rest will fall into place. But no one tells you about the first 2 a.m. cry in a strange bed, or the moment your mother clutches your hand and whispers, "Why did you leave me here?" No one warns you that those first 2 weeks in assisted living can feel like standing in the eye of an emotional storm, calm on the surface but swirling underneath with guilt, grief, and 1,000 unspoken fears. Was this the right decision? Had I broken a promise? No one prepares you for that moment, the moment your parent, the strongest person you've ever known, looks at you with fear and says, "I don't belong here." This isn't just a move, it's a reckoning, real, raw, and heavier than anyone talks about. The decision to transition a loved one into assisted living is never made lightly. It often comes after years of private sacrifice, midnight falls, burned-out calendars filled with medication schedules, and a caregiver's silent cry in the bathroom with the water running. It comes after hospital visits, near misses, and conversations we wish we never had to have. And when that day finally arrives, the day you help them into the car with a suitcase in the back seat, you carry more than luggage. You carry the weight of love, responsibility, and the unshakable question, did I do the right thing? Before we even walked through the doors of an assisted living facility, I had already searched through what felt like 100 options. I wasn't just looking for a place, I was looking for peace of mind. I toured facilities in person, scrolled through reviews at 2 a.m., and stared at brochures that all promised the same thing: safety, comfort, care. But behind each glossy pamphlet was the same unspoken fear. What if this isn't enough? What if she hates it? What if I choose wrong? I asked about everything: staff ratios, medication management, emergency protocols, even the smell in the hallways. I wasn't just choosing a place to live, I was choosing a place where I hoped she could still feel human, seen, and respected. And no matter how confident I tried to sound, the truth was, I was terrified of making the wrong choice. The truth is, the first few days after the move are a blur of emotions, for both the resident and the family. You may have done the research, toured the facility, met the staff, and checked all the boxes, but emotionally nothing prepares you for the moment your loved one realizes they're not going home, that the place with familiar smells and favorite mugs is now a memory. Wow moment often comes not in the dramatic breakdowns, but in the silence. The way your mother stares out the window, the way your father stops making eye contact. Don't be surprised, it's not always loud. It's a quiet ache that echoes in the hallways, and if you're not prepared, it can make you feel like you've failed them. But please hear this. Their sadness doesn't mean you made the wrong choice. It means they're human and adjusting. From a clinical perspective, it's important to understand that transitions like this trigger what we call relocation stress syndrome. It can show up as anxiety, confusion, sadness, or even physical symptoms like fatigue and appetite changes. Staff are trained to watch for these signs, but family presence matters just as much. Even if they're pushing you away, your familiar face is a grounding presence in the middle of that emotional chaos. In those first few days, your loved one may resist routines, refuse meals, reject group activities. It's easy to panic or think, this isn't working, but those reactions are a form of protest, a last attempt to hold on to some piece of control in a world that just shifted beneath them. This is not failure, it's transition. It's subtle. Maybe they mention someone's name from the dining room. Maybe they sit in the common area without being asked. Maybe they tell you about a staff member who was nice. These small moments may seem insignificant, but they're signals. Signals that the mind and heart are testing the waters of a new normal. Don't rush them, don't push, just notice, and affirm them. I remember when my mother let the aide style her hair for the first time. She had refused every day before. But on day 7, something shifted. I asked her why she changed her mind. She shrugged and said, "Well, I can't look like a mess forever." It was her way of saying, I'm still me, I'm still here. And I knew then that healing had begun. It's during week 2 that we often see the first true cracks in the wall of resistance. Familiarity builds. The staff begin to remember their preferences: coffee with 2 creams, no sugar, music in the morning, a blanket folded a certain way. These things seem small, but they rebuild a sense of dignity. And in assisted living, dignity is everything. Educational moment. Families often ask, should I visit every day in the beginning? The answer is, it depends on the person. Some residents thrive on daily visits, while others need time to establish independence. What matters most is consistency and emotional support. Even if you're not physically there every day, a phone call, a letter, a small drop-off with a familiar item can make a big difference. The goal isn't to hover, it's to anchor. Your loved one smiles, or laughs, or waves at someone in the hallway, and just like that, the heavy fog starts to lift. The guilt doesn't vanish, but it begins to make room for relief, and even gratitude. You start to realize that this place isn't a punishment, it's a lifeline. For the caregiver, the first 2 weeks are just as transformational. You may find yourself going home to an empty house and not knowing what to do. The absence of stress can be unnerving. You've been in survival mode for so long that peace feels foreign. That's okay. Let it be unfamiliar. Let yourself breathe again. It's also the time where many caregivers wrestle with shame. Am I being selfish? Did I give up? But the truth is, what you've done is an act of love. You've handed part of the burden to a team of professionals who can now keep your loved ones safe and supported. And that allows you to return to your original role, not just as a nurse, a scheduler, a lifter of heavy things, but as a son, a daughter, a partner. That's not selfish, that's healing. If your loved one is dealing with dementia, these 2 weeks may look a little different. Change is harder, routines are vital, and confusion may increase before it stabilizes. But dementia doesn't erase the ability to feel safe, loved, and respected. Staff who understand memory care will work to build trust slowly through repetition, tone of voice, and compassion. Your presence, even just a warm greeting or touch, can help reduce anxiety and create emotional anchors. By the end of the second week, new patterns have begun to form. They may not love it yet, and that's okay, but there's less fear in their voice. They know which hallway leads to their room. They remember the names of 2 staff members. These are wins. And in the world of caregiving, every small win is a big deal. In my own journey, I've come to believe that these early days are not just about settling in. They're about transformation. Not just for the resident, but for the caregiver too. We learn to let go of the idea that we must do everything ourselves. We learn that love doesn't always mean hands-on care. Sometimes it means trusting others to help carry the load. So if you're walking through this season, packing boxes, managing paperwork, wiping away tears in the car before you drive away, I want you to hear this. You are not alone. You are not failing. And most importantly, you are still showing up. Assisted living is not the end of the story, it's the next chapter. And the first 2 weeks, as painful as they may be, the groundwork for something new is being laid. Something possible. Something filled with hope, even if it takes a while to see it. Let the sadness come, and let it pass. Let the joy surprise you and hold on to it. Let this journey shape you, and give yourself permission to grow alongside them. Because at the end of it all, the first 2 weeks are not about perfection, they're about becoming. And you, dear caregiver, are becoming stronger, wiser, and more whole, one day at a time. If this video resonated with you, please like and subscribe for more insights on navigating assisted living transitions. Your support helps us reach and assist more families during these challenging times.